Today I want to show you the pad scene and pad parameter knobs modes on the Akai Force. These are a really powerful set of controls for manipulating and controlling your various drum tracks. And they're actually a lot more powerful than I thought they were at first. There's some features in here that are pretty easy to overlook, so today I just wanted to take some time to go through them and explain them and show you some of the things that I found. I think they're really a nice feature add that didn't get very well advertised with the Akai Force back in release. I think it was 3.2. So we'll check that out. Hi, my name is Joe, and welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, then, a hearty hello to you too. Let's get into it. So to access these modes, you just hold down your knobs button, and there's a pad scene and a pad parameter. You can see we're currently set on pad scene. And these only work on drum tracks. So for example, if I were to come in here and create like a new, let's say a plug-in track, you'll see that all these knobs just disappear. But if you're on a drum track, then they show up. So the first one we'll take a look at is pad scene. The pad scene acts on every single pad and gives you a bunch of different parameters for that pad. So the way you access it is by just selecting a pad. Let's take a look. So for example, if I select this pad A1 here, which has a kick, you'll see that all of these switch to A01, and we've got a bunch of controls for this specific pad. Like we can control the level, or the pan, and these are really well thought out. I think these are, the controls that you would probably use the most often with these. And there's two banks of them here for each pad. So if I press knobs again, we've got access to like filter cutoff, resonance, envelope depth, just a bunch of different things. So these are great. And if I wanted to control a different pad, if I press A2 here, which has kind of a snare sound, you'll see that all of these switch to AO2. So now I'm actually controlling these things for this snare drum. So that's it in a nutshell. The only other couple tips and tricks here are, if you want to select a pad silently, you can just hold down the select button. So I could select this hi-hat, which is on A03, without playing it. But now I'm manipulating for AO3. So next let's take a look at the pad parameter mode. And what this does is it gives you a single individual control, but across the whole bank of pads. So this is really useful as well. Let's check it out. So if I hold down knobs and I go over here to pad parameter, you can see that now we have these level controls, but instead of just being for the one pad that I have selected, we've got AO1 level, AO2 level, AO3 level. So I can mix these things. Actually, let's just set up a quick step sequence here, something really simple to check this out. So we'll come in here, we'll lay down some kicks and maybe some snares. And let's put in some closed hats. Now I can control the level of the kick and the snare and the pads. I can use these all to just kind of mix on the fly. So a couple of things about these different modes that I didn't necessarily realize the first time I used them, because it's kind of a feature that's really tucked away. The first one I wanted to show you is that these are actually applicable if you have more than 16 pads. So you can actually use these for all 128 pads in different banks. So for example, let's say I had some pads over here beyond the initial 16. Let's take a look. So if I come back to note mode, this is just a 16-piece kit right here, but let's just go ahead and copy some of these elsewhere. Let's copy this over here, and copy the snare here, and maybe copy the hi-hat here. So now I've got a larger kit. And if I just select one of these that's over in bank B, you can now see that these level knobs switch over to BO1, BO2. So now I can control the levels of these pads as well, and that works all the way across all the banks, A through H. And the same thing for pad scene as well. So if I were to select a note over in this bank, then it switches over to the pad in another bank. So these are really useful for large kits as well as other kits. And here's where it really gets good. You can actually customize both of these modes, and I didn't realize this, and it makes it really powerful and easy for doing things that you might have been able to do before, but it just was not this easy to set up. So let's take a look at that. Let's customize this pad mode. So I've got this kit playing, and let's say maybe I just wanted to adjust some of these. And you can see here we've got these various controls. We'll select the kick pad here. And we can adjust let's say we didn't need the envelope attack right here, so let's customize this. I'm going to hit edit, hold down edit, and press one of these knobs. And you can see here that right now this is controlling the amp envelope attack. But let's go ahead and add another parameter to this. I'll go into edit, And let's scroll down here and maybe pick Drum Effects 1. So you can see now this knob changed to say macro right here. And I don't know how useful that might be, but we can go ahead and delete this amp envelope attack. And now this says Drum Effects 1. So what we're talking about here, if I come into Shift Clip, we've got these 8 different drum effects here, and Drum Effects 1 is set to Ring Mod. So now I can control the ring mod as part of this pad scene effect. So let's come over here to the kick drum. You can see I've selected pad AO1. I can control the ring mod there. I can control it for the snare. And so I'm able to really customize and reshape my drum kit very easily just by using this pad scene control. We can do the same thing with the pad parameters, and there's a lot of cool applications for this. So let's take a look at that. So if I switch my knobs back over here to pad parameter, right now you can see they're all set to level. So let's go ahead and hold edit, and we'll customize one of these. I can come in here on any pad, it doesn't matter which pad I'm on. I can go into the mixer, and maybe I can change this to pan instead of level. So I'll delete level. And now I've got pan controls for each of these kit pieces. Looks like I'm on the wrong bank there. So we can do some more interesting stuff with this, obviously. Let's take a look at a couple quick examples that I came up with that I think are really useful. So for example, if I come over here to my mixer and go hit the master button and come over here to effects, and let's delete this reverb and add in this new Air Delay Pro. So I don't know if you've tried this out yet. This is a pretty cool delay, but some of these delays in here, I mean, they're crazy, and they get crazy long. Let's take a look at maybe one of these that doesn't have too crazy of a feedback amount, because those tend to last forever. I think fractals might be a good one. So we've got this set up now on our effects send 1. And if I come back over here, I've got my knobs in this mode. Let's edit these knobs. So I'll press edit, hold one of these knobs. And instead of controlling pan, if I want to, I can come in here to mixer and set this to send 1. We'll delete the pan control, and now we have send 1 knobs for all of our different tracks. So for example, on the snare, if I want to send that one, and I can just use this to kind of like inject little things into this crazy delay. So that's one way to set up a performance control. Let's just do one more example to kind of check out. So let's come back in here and we'll edit these knobs, and let's add a parameter here, and we'll come into AO2 and go into mixer, and let's pick pad mute, and we'll get rid of the send control for now. And the other kind of cool thing I can do with this, I can put these, if I expand this little bottom part, I can put this into toggle mode. Now, one thing I've kind of noticed with this may be a little bit of a bug, but it's easy enough to work around. So if I press on this one, you see the toggle went off. If I turn this toggle on, it just seems to kind of do it for one control at a time. But if I come out of this mode and go to a different one, like pad scene, and then come back in here into pad parameter, now they're all set to toggle. So now I've got these mute controls for my different drum tracks that are just like touch controls, which is really fun. Well, if this video has been helpful for you at all, it would really help me out if you'd hit the like button. That helps the channel and also kind of helps me to know which of these videos are helping you the most. That's all I've got for you today. I think you'll have a lot of fun as you explore these pad scene and parameter modes. They're really an awesome way to control your drum kits. This is Joe. I'll catch you next time.